This appetizer might seem intimidating, but it's actually one of the most simple, delicious, and impressive dishes that you can make. Today I'm gonna teach you how to make it. We're making beef tartare. Today I'm gonna show you how to make it the classic way, like a professional chef. It's true, beef tartare is raw beef, but it's also seasoned with a lot of other things. Capers, cornichon, parsley, Dijon mustard, shallot, lemon juice, and you make sort of like a mayonnaise type dressing with egg yolk, some olive oil, a little bit of neutral oil, and Worcestershire sauce, and normally Tabasco. All of these things together make for a really punchy, vibrant, acidic, and savory dressed beef dish that you normally eat with something like toasted baguette or a simple garden salad. It's a classic dish. You can find it on bistro menus all over France. It's been a dish that's been around for about 100 years. It's absolutely classic. When you order this dish in France, normally they give you two options. You can either get it haché, sort of minced, or you can get it diced. Those are sort of your two options. Today I'm gonna do it diced, and I'm gonna show you how to make the dressing, everything like that. Everything together is probably gonna take 10 minutes to do, maybe quicker. We're gonna start by making the dressing. So we're gonna get our 2 egg yolks into a bowl. You do not need the egg white for this dish. I'm gonna pop it into this bowl here. Okay. 2 egg yolks. I'm gonna put a little dash of Worcestershire sauce. Splash of hot sauce. I'm using crystal hot sauce because I'm here in New Orleans, baby. Lemon juice. Make sure you roll your lemon. When you roll the lemon, give it some pressure. Make sure you can feel sort of the flesh of the lemon sort of pushing apart from itself, because that's going to really release the juice. Don't just give it a little light roll. No light rolls here. Next, Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard in. That's going to sort of help with the emulsification of the dressing. Okay, it'll help sort of the egg and the yolk, really the protein in the yolk and the mustard together form this sort of emulsion that when you start pouring your oil into it, holds on to it, binds, makes it so it's together, emulsified, not split. Very important. So get this going like this. You want everything to be together. You don't want to see any Worcestershire sauce. You don't want to see any hot sauce. It should be all together. Then, here I'm using avocado oil, because if you use all olive oil, then it just tastes a little bit too much like olive oil. It's too strong in olive oil flavors. I would go about half and half. Use a neutral oil like avocado, or light olive oil or pomace oil works as well too. Okay, now watch. This is very important. Little stream of oil, and you're just whisking it. You're making just like a mayonnaise. The most common way that you're going to ruin mayonnaise is too much oil too quickly. If I dump this thing without the lid on and a bunch of oil went in, you can whisk it for 10 hours and it's not going to come together. Okay? And that goes the same for a blender. Like, you need to start slow, and you need to give that time, all that protein from the egg and the mustard to sort of latch on to the oil, and it's going to start to thicken it and create an emulsion, create a mayonnaise. We're not going to go as far as you would go with mayonnaise. It's going to be lighter. It's going to be a lighter dressing, so we just want to sort of coat the tartare with it. That's that. Olive oil now, same thing. A little arm workout in. The more oil you put, the thicker it's going to become. Dressing. Now what do we have? We have this beautiful sort of emulsified start. Okay, that started the party. Okay, now you've got your party started. You've got 4 friends that are there so far. You've opened a couple beers. Music's playing. Party hasn't completely started. You know that you're about to have a good time. Then all of a sudden, your crazy friend shows up with a 2-6 of tequila. That's capers. Right? Get your capers, chop them up. That's going to really make things interesting. The cops might get called. Okay? Cornichon. Cornichon is your best friend that you haven't seen in 2 years because he's been in jail. Just so you know how much fun you're going to have with this guy. Okay? You want it to be small. You want to chop it down. I'm just quartering these cornichon and just going to knock them down once from being quartered, and that's it. Cornichon has entered the chat. Cornichons are tiny cucumbers, and they're pickled. So they just have this really intense, deep, pickly flavor that's just really delicious and acidic. Okay, parsley, chopped parsley. Chopped parsley is a little bit more mellow, okay? But you need it at the party. It's gonna level things out a little bit. This is classic beef tartare garnish. When you look at a menu and it says classic garnish, this is how this dish has been dressed since its invention. I urge you guys to whenever you're making a dish like this, a classic dish, that you really stay true to the recipe, that you follow the original recipe, and you make it how it was meant to be made. Okay, because I think a lot of times people have this tendency to prioritize their creativity over a dish that's been cooked for 100 years. And I think that you need to realize that that dish has been around for 100 years for a reason. Okay, you don't need to mess with it. You are not better than the dish that you're making. Your creativity is not better than the dish. I have this classic saying that I like to say a lot. It's, you're not better than creme anglaise. Creme anglaise is a thing that's been around for generations, and I would be silly to think that I can do something small to it to improve it. It's not the case. You're not going to do something small to beef tartare to make it better than what it already is. Do it justice by making it how it's meant to be made. And then from there, you can tweak things if you want, but I would suggest you don't. Okay, last thing it's going to need is shallot, just that raw onion flavor. Okay, shallot brunoise. Separate the layers. If you want to learn how to cut onion, I just posted a video on it. You can look at that. Not too much raw onion, enough that you know it's there. What I say about shallot's always better, if you're going to do a brunoise shallot, to do the julienne first and then come back at it the other angle. Instead of trying to cut it like an onion, you're just going to get a lot more accuracy in your cut. Use shallot over red onion or white onion. It's sweeter, it's less intense, and it just makes for a better beef tartare. Now, if I was making this dish in a restaurant, I would have sort of the mayonnaise base made with the oil, but with none of the garnish inside of it. And then I would keep all of this garnish separate. I would keep parsley separate, shallot separate, capers separate, cornichon separate, and that would all be sort of next to the dressing. You shoot some dressing into the bowl, put the amount of beef tartare that you need. Ideally, cut a la minute to keep that really nice red color. And then you sort of dress everything a la minute, taste it, season it. It might need a little bit more onion, it might need a little bit more lemon juice, and give yourself that option. If you make your dressing ahead of time and you make too much, then you have all this dressing with this beautiful fresh parsley, fresh onion, and all these fresh, beautiful flavors that then sit for a couple days. It's better to just mitigate that risk by making it a la minute every single time. And also, you want to dress this a la minute. You don't want to have this beef sitting in this dressing for too long. It'll start changing the texture of the beef and making it just a lot less interesting. Okay, so onions are going in. I would say probably that's good. So next, guys, I'm just going to put a pinch of salt in there. Okay, maybe 2. Mixy, mixy, nicey, nicey. A little fresh cracked black pepper. You can go a little bit thicker with it. This is my favorite pepper mill in the world. Link in the description. Now you want to taste it. You want to see what it needs. This stage, it's either going to be salt, it's going to be maybe a little bit more lemon juice, maybe a bit more, kick. Very important that right now is when you decide how balanced you want this to be, right? Pretty good. Lemon juice. Another tiny bit of Worcestershire sauce. Okay. And tiny splash of hot sauce. Now remember, you're going to be adding beef to this, right? The beef is in theory bland. It's not seasoned at all. So this all can sort of pack a punch. It can be quite intense, strong in flavor. It's going to need to stand up to that beef, all right? Here I have tenderloin, beef tenderloin, fillet of beef, okay? I think it's the perfect beef for beef tartare because it's soft. It's not chewy. You're not going to run into any bits of sinew. If you're going to use whatever beef you use, just make sure you clean it. You take some of the sinew off, the silver skin off the outside of it. Since this beef is raw, you don't want to be chewing on beef. It's not very enjoyable. Do yourself a favor and get yourself some tenderloin. It'll just be easier to eat, okay? Get it down. Make yourself okay. Nice little small dice. See that? That's pretty much ideal is what you want right there. Now, this dressing is too much for this beef. So what I'm going to do is put this beef into another bowl, and I'm going to add the dressing to the beef. I'm going to toast some bread. We're going to eat it. Boof. This used to be our after-service snack I used to work at a French restaurant called Auberge du Pommier in Toronto. We had beef tartare on the menu pretty much always. And at the end of the night, you can't keep it. So you would have a little bit of beef tartare dressed sometimes if you had an extra portion or two. And we would eat it pretty much every night on toasted baguette. Eating it that much really, like, I've grown really fond of it and really sort of like reminiscent for me. And it's sort of brings me back, you know? It's delicious. Salt, more pepper. What I'm gonna do is get my pan on. I'm gonna toast this baguette. I like to eat beef tartare with baguette, personally. It's really thin, and so what I wanna do is sort of cut it on a longer angle. You have more surface area to put beef tartare on. If you try to cut this straight down like that, you're gonna have such small surface area. It's gonna be about that big. I mean, if you're doing a canapé, that would make sense. If you're doing a dish for people to share, the canapé is a one bite, you know, sort of appetizer. So watch, you can see, I'll show you the difference. That's straight down. And that's what we're after. See the difference? I hope so. Pan's on, oil in. Let's get these nice and toasty. While that's toasting, I'm gonna plate the beef. Where should I plate this in? It's nice to use a ring mold for something like this. In a restaurant, normally we put sort of a ring down on the plate, push the beef into the ring to make it more uniform. But I don't have that because I'm at home. So we're gonna make do, and my toast is burning. And I'll just put that beef straight on the plate. Try to make a nice sort of round shape. Give yourself a nice little well in the middle, because we're gonna take another egg and we're gonna put just the yolk into the center. Try to get as much white as you can off. Just like that. That yolk, we're gonna give it a little bit of salt, a little bit of coarse black pepper. Okay, finally, I'm gonna give it just a little bit more parsley on the meat. Beef tartare is a lot like revenge. It's best served cold. Keep it in the fridge until you want to serve it. Keep it in the fridge till the last minute. Serve it on ice, work on ice if you like. You're serving this in a restaurant, you're a chef watching this, make sure you use an ice. Use a bowl of ice, dress this in the bowl with the double bowl, the bowl on top, so that the ice is keeping everything nice and cold. It makes a difference, it really does. Fresh parsley around on the meat. You don't have to put it on the rim of the plate like it's 1980. Take your toast. Nice, beautiful, delicious beef tartare. So simple, so easy. This dish is either gonna scare the shit out of your friends or impress them. Either way, you should try to make it because it's so good. It's not intimidating. It's not scary. It's just a bit of raw beef. Get over it. You put the egg yolk on the top because it adds to the dressing situation. It adds a little bit more of a carrier. The cornichon, the shallot, all that stuff is so intense in flavor, all right? So when you have that raw egg yolk on the top and you kind of cut through the beef tartare and you have a bit of that raw egg yolk running over the meat, it acts as like another layer of dressing that's gonna sort of soften the blow of all these intense garnish that you put inside. Don't be scared of it. Beef tartare, beef tartare, beef tartare. See that? If you like this video, if you like beef tartare, subscribe, follow, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments if you made it. Send me pictures. I'd love to see it. And that's it. That's all.